All right, let's talk about the Diablo 4 Season 4 developer update, live stream, Campfire Chat, Nerds in Office.
Come on, you piece of junk. It's Hawg, baby.
About y'all, you got Hawg. Thanks for stopping by. So the first thing I noticed about this Diablo 4 Season 4 Campfire developer live stream update, it's like that Michael Scott fun run for rabies for the cure. If y'all watch The Office, was the main thing I noticed was Adam Jackson's t-shirt, Damage on Tuesdays. He's like memeing the meme with a t-shirt. I didn't know how to take that, you know. It's like, it's kind of ballsy. It's kind of like, you know, screw y'all a little bit, but at the same time, it's like something I would have done too. I don't know, but looked over and I seen chat was talking about, man, I'd love to have a load every stash t-shirt. So your wish is my command, ladies and gentlemen. Available in Hog's store below is load every stash t-shirt. Hook yourself up with one of those t-shirts. Also supports me, helps me continue to bring content to y'all. It's a little shameless self-promotion. I appreciate that. Anyway, there's some positives. I mean, obviously changing the loot's a good thing. Some of that stuff needed to go. Kind of a double-edged sword, because at some points, depending on your play style, and this is the problem with making changes, there's always somebody that's going to like it, and there's always somebody that's not going to like it. So there's a double-edged sword there. You take away all those aspects, affixes, some of the items, you know, whatever. But there's always going to be some of those people who are like, man, I was using that, you know, particular thing with this particular build, whatever the deal is. Here's the overall general feel without diving in too much of specifics and going off on tangents and just trying to make an actual decent piece of content. It's a young, inexperienced, disorganized, uneducated development team that has some old dogs like Joe Pipiora in an associate role. I find that very strange. Why is he not one of the leads? He's an associate game director. He's not the lead. He should be the lead of one of these things to get this back together, because he obviously has the most experience. The base problems that I have with the game were not addressed. So what? I'm just saying this, you know, great. The loot's great, but that was, you know, kind of towards the bottom of my complaint list. I had a laundry list of other things with the base game that needed to be changed. I'm not going to go into those right now because that's beating a dead horse at this point. But none of those were addressed. We didn't get any social features changed. We didn't get any quality of life. We still have to, you know, go through the portal to your party. There's no clan improvements. You still can't see how long somebody's been online. Like, it's things like that. You know, there were some missed opportunities as well. I think that, like, the Iron Wolves could really be used. Y'all, there are strongholds in the game that aren't, it's the most wasted opportunity, I feel like. So when I saw the Iron Wolves or heard them talk about Iron Wolves storyline or whatever, and then here's your, we're just going to give you a way to get these materials, you know, like a path to get these materials. I just like, damn, what just a cop out, half-ass waste. You could have very easily been playing competitor games during this time and seen like Simulacrum or something from PoE and said, damn, we could do that right here. So you talk to the wolves and they say, damn, let's take you over to our stronghold, rename one of the strongholds the Wolf Hold or something. They take you over there to their old fort, and you've got to fight your way down 30 levels, and it might take you all damn season or whatever. Maybe not. Just an idea. 30 levels, 10 levels, 12 levels, whatever. And then at the end, there's a reward. So the younger guy with the outline, he had talked about, people were complaining about double rolling something or something like that. And so they just deleted it out of the game. Why not put that somewhere that's a reward for doing something for people that want to do that? Or maybe make it so you use an an altar or something to corrupt something or do something. Like, there's so many just missed opportunities. But then you get the tinfoil side that comes out, because I like to look at, especially with Blizzard, I like to pick apart every single solitary angle and say, man, they missed opportunity. And then I go, no, no, they didn't. Remember what Rod said. Rod said to increase monster density 10% would cost reworking aspects from art, items, this, that. Every part of the game would have to have a little bit of a sacrifice to get that mob density. Now, y'all, we're talking about a lot of these screens that we saw had 10 to 12, 6, sometimes 8 monsters. So if you have 10 monsters in a mob, 10% increase in that would be 1. I believe so. I went to Georgia Public Schools. It could be bad math, but I'm pretty sure that's 1. Let me know in the comments below if it's not. So you can't increase 1 without having to rework the whole game. It just reinforces the spaghetti code theory that I've had since July. The game has spaghetti code, and that's why we can't get stash tabs. That's why we can't have a loot filter. That's why we can't have a hideout. That's why we can't have ultimate power fantasy, screen clearing, badass effects. What's fun about PoE, part of the fun, is the screen effects. If you were a Diablo 3 player, you'll probably like that. If you're a Diablo 2 player and you don't like all the screen effects, and you're going to say, well, good, I don't like them fucking screen effects. I fucking hate PoE because of that. We just get away from hating each other because we don't like a game. Like, that's the silliest thing that I've learned so far about doing YouTube is, man, people fucking hate each other's guts because they don't like a game. Like, can we just get away from that for a little bit? Anyway, they talked about power fantasy a lot, and it's hard for me to have power fantasy when you have very small monster density. Like, they showed the Hell Tide, and they showed that thing coming out of the ground and erupting stuff out of its mouth, and it was like 6 monsters. So it's hard for me to think about power fantasy when you have low density, you have low AoE skills. So they talked about removing Cyclone, and they had some training dummies out, and they were showing you some stuff, which, while it's cool about training dummies, what happens when you take away any kind of number from a projectile, whether it's Cyclone, Twister, Spear, arrows, orbs, whatever, you take away clear speed. They didn't address that. They worried about damage. They said, oh, your damage is that we made, it's instead of 3, it's 2 now, but we made those 2 stronger. That doesn't matter because we're talking about clear speed. So again, that's part of the calculation for power fantasy. Is power fantasy achieved? Okay, density, clear speed, and power. I think they do have the power covered from what they shown. But then they talked about like defensive stats like armor, and they said armor's confusing, which was kind of confusing to me because armor is a base stat. It's been in every RPG. It was in Diablo 1. It's always been physical damage reduction or mitigation of some kind. It's a very easy stat. I don't understand. So they just literally made it, okay, write this number down, 92105 or whatever the number was, like 2165. I don't remember what the number was. Who cares? But that's literally the armor number you're going to have to achieve. So when I heard that, I said, man, they're making the game a hell of a lot easier. So I kind of got loose tangents there, but my whole point is I hear all of this stuff. It was kind of a hodgepodge of different things from different people. One guy said, we don't want a lot of items. We don't want a lot of this, but we want you to feel dopamine when items drop. So it's so confusing to a Diablo player that it made me assume that, okay, they know the hardcore base is gone. I'm not talking about hardcore game mode. I'm talking about hardcore fans. The real player base, the Diablo player base, is gone. It's been with us 20 years. They've moved on because we fucked up. Now we're on Game Pass. And so we're going to have to cater to the Game Pass and console players with what we have, and just try to get them in here real quick, give them the power that the game can handle, because it can't handle anything. And then we will recycle them out of there. for the next season, next battle pass, next tokens. Ideally, what I really think this is, when it all boils down to, and I've said this many times, we are constant game testers, and this is the baseline for the expansion. They need to make sure that the game now, they've been working on it, is good enough to put an expansion on top of it. So that's what we're doing. That's why there's no seasonal theme. That's why none of that, because they don't even know if these items and all this is going to work correctly, even though we had a PTR. We got to keep playing with it. And if they were to add a seasonal power on top of it, it would probably break the game. So I don't know. Just those are my overall thoughts. Not enough to bring me back. I know a lot of people are going to go back and try the items out, and that's fine if you want to do that. I still love you. No problem. Doesn't mean I'm going to go do it. I still got all kind of stuff to do with PoE, but just to show you, I'm going to leave y'all with what power fantasy actually looks like, okay, versus what Diablo thinks power fantasy looks like. And I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Hit like and subscribe. See y'all next time.
Why is it so slow? Why don't I have a mana flask? What the fuck? Why am I out of mana already? Why is it so slow? What the fuck?
There is a fine line between consideration and hesitation.